Alright, hi there YouTube, it's me Morphsuit America, and in this video I'll be talking about Transcended Draco Brightspark. Now, like my last video when I talked about Transcended Draco Death Crown, this video is gonna imitate that, where I talk about the abilities, talk about what she's good in, and then get your input and commentary on if you have her, or if you agree with the statements, or if you want to add more to it, etc, etc. Now, I will have a bunch of links in the description below to this website that I'm using, along with the Korean Dragon Blaze blog, how to download the Korean Dragon Blaze, and etc, etc. Now, at the end of this video, I'll also have links taking you to my video talking about the basics of Transcended Allies in my previous ally review over the Transcended Draco Death Crown, and also how to get to the Korean tier list. Now, I'm not going to have it show on the screen like I did for the Draco Death Crown video, because yeah, I don't want to mess up, and if I mess up, I'll feel bad. So yeah, I will be referring to it here and there though, but it's not going to show up on the screen. Anyways, enough of me chit-chatting about some of the basic stuff. Let me get into the video. Now, Transcended Draco Brightspark will be one of the first few Transcended Allies released into Global. In the Korean Dragon Blaze, she's already released, and some people would go for her still. Maybe it's because of personal preference, or if she's your waifu or something, or if you can actually get her along the side with along with the fact that you can get Transcended Bliss Foxy, for example. But yeah, to make Transcended Draco Brightspark, you need 1 Deified Draco Brightspark at Ultimate Status, 1 Dragon Busted Gaia Key at Ultimate Status, 50 Transcended Essences, and 50 million gold. Now you can view the max stats for yourself. I'm still confused on if this is like, if the character is maxed out status or ultimate status and stuff. But moving on, she is a mage character. She delivers DPS. The weapon effects that are suggested are 1 cooldown reduction and damage over time. The weapon stats are usually critical damage, critical rate, accuracy, and defense penetration. And the card effects you want to aim for are very damage if it's single, and if it's a dual U card, intelligence plus very damage, and if it's a triple U card, because there are triple U cards in the Korean Dragon Blaze, I think, let me see if there's any information about that. Maybe base attack would also be handy. But yeah, moving on, let's talk about her abilities and the performance she can offer. Now, when it comes to her abilities, they're heavily... her best ranking is in offensive and crowd control. When it comes to support and survivability, it's kind of low. Now, this is somewhat close to what the Korean tier list has, to some exceptions. But yeah, her abilities are based heavily around offensive and crowd control. Now, when it comes to her performance, she excels well in dungeons, and by dungeons, just the regular dungeon runs. Arena, Tower Nightmare, tag matches, Revenge of Belphegor, and then Caledon. Now, this is where I'm gonna actually use the Korean tier list, and yeah, it's not gonna show up on the screen, but on the Korean tier list, Brightspark is ranked 23, and her average score is 6.84. Now, maybe numbers aren't everything for you, but yeah, if you want to kind of have a scale on how good this ally is overall compared to the others, the Korean tier list can kind of give you an ideal scale for that. But yeah, she is very, very PvP focused, and pretty much her performance match what Inotive has, and she does excel well in Revenge of Belphegor and tag matches, along with arena guild battles and Tower of Validation. Now, the only world boss she's actually okay in would be Hydra. Now, why Hydra compared to like Cerberus, Golem, or Chariot? Because Hydra has many heads, and because she has abilities around splash damage and AoE effects, yeah, it does give her a good edge in that. But any other bosses, as you can see, isn't up there. I think some of you guys, when I was running with some people in the streams when it comes to Nebula told me that she was alright in Nebula as well. But yeah, pretty much you can look at this at your own time now. Now let's move on to her abilities and let me read them off. And I will also have my Korean Dragon Blaze up as well to display her weapon, just to display her abilities, and the weapon and the special effects are on. But yeah. Alright, so her normal attack deals splash damage and gives them Chill of Death mark that decrease their attack speed and cooldown recovery. And as you can see, yeah, when it says splash damage, I think this is what it means. And if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. But when one of her attacks lands on an enemy, it's gonna splash off towards the other enemies. Now, I don't think it's gonna be the same sort of damage as the initial hit. So, whoever gets hit by the first attack will take the full blunt of the full damage of it. And then the splash damage is kind of like halved or something, so yeah. If it was an AoE effect, most likely the damage would be kind of the same when it comes to like hitting everyone, but splash damage is kind of different because of that little dealio. And I think the Korean tier list also has an explanation when it comes to certain stuff or certain terminology like splash. But yeah, moving on. Her first active skill, Frost Storm. This deals 3,611% damage to all enemies and casts 3 Chill of Death marks upon all enemies for 15 seconds. Cooldown is 11.2 seconds. Now, that cooldown can be reduced even further if you have weapon effects cooldown, and etc, etc. But yeah, let's check her first ability. Now, that's kind of pretty, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to be shrouded in like a bunch of ice. But yeah, it looks like it hit all of her enemies and you just get surrounded by a gust of snow. And you can see snowflakes as well. But yeah, it's very... I don't know if I should make puns and stuff, but... charming, I guess? Elegant to some degree? But moving on, her second active ability, Solely Explosion. Deals 3,881% damage to all enemies and casts Chill of Death upon all enemies and stuns them for 11 seconds. On marked enemies, inflicts additional 4,300% damage per mark. Now, that does sound pretty deadly, and the cooldown for this is 13.1 seconds. So let's see her second active ability. Oh my god, that's kind of aggressive. Compared to like her first ability where it's like nonchalantly raising a blizzard around them, she just like goes up in the air and just hammers them with a bunch of ice stones. But yeah, and it does stun them, as you can see with the little birdies above their heads. But yeah, moving on, her third active ability, Howling Souls. For 4 seconds, deals 2,583% damage per 0.5 second. Steals beneficial buffs, self-invincibility during the casting time, and self-heals with the dealt damage. Has a chance to stun all enemies inflicts Chill of Death mark onto them. This skill cannot be interrupted during that duration. Cooldown for this is 16.1 seconds. That sounds pretty handy. And yeah, it's that move where she sucks your soul, and I don't like that. If I remember correctly, she killed me when I was trying to beat her, well, her deified form in Tower of Validation, and I do remember she's pretty deadly when it comes to tag matches as well. But yeah, pretty much this stuns them as well, and this does give her a lot of benefits, especially when it comes to stealing the buffs that you place on your characters. And this cannot be interrupted, so if she's sucking your soul, hopefully you could try to kill her, and that might actually stop it. But yeah, I don't think you could stun her when she's trying to do this, or you can interrupt her when she's doing her third active skill. Now moving on, her passive skills. Her first one is called Frost Armor. When an enemy marked with Chill of Death attacks Brightspark and the damage surpasses 35% of her stamina, she will only receive 35% of that damage. In other words, a 65% damage reduction. Chill of Death can be stacked 20 times. Wow, that's pretty handy, if I think about it, yeah. Especially when it comes to one-on-one. If she continues to give a lot of chill of death marks onto her enemies and they can't really do the full potential of the damage, she will be able to survive a little bit longer and dish out as much damage as she can. The second passive ability, Relentless Ham. Wait, Ham. Why is it Ham? Relentless Ham. Increases party intelligence by 30% for each Transcended Draco on the ally team. Self-intelligence is plus 10%. Now, I'm guessing that this will be very handy if you got a full Draco team, to some extent maybe, or maybe you have a couple of Transcended Dracos and this will kind of boost her up, or boost up the entire party's intelligence. Now, her max skill, Incarnation of Frost. If Brightspark receives damage that leads to death, she enters Incarnation of Frost mode, God mode, for 3 seconds. In this state, she is immune to all attacks and her HP is restored every second. Once the duration is over, cast 3 chill of death marks upon all enemies. Cooldown for this is 38 seconds. Wow. Okay, so she has a special mode like... Yeah, she does have a special little mode that she can go into, like Transcended Stormbear. But yeah, that's pretty deadly. Now, if you can kill it quickly, I guess that kind of nullifies this, but gosh darn. Now, moving on to her ultimate skills. She doubles the amount of chill of death debuffs, and when she's revived by her max, stuns all enemies for 3 seconds with 100% chance. Oh, wait, okay, so if she dies, she's revived, and that's gonna be bad, and then this will also kick in if you have her at ultimate status. When she's revived by her max, stuns all enemies for 3 seconds. Oh god, so she's gonna... So, if you have her at ultimate, if she dies, this is gonna kick in, and then also this is gonna kick in as well, where she stuns her enemies for 3 seconds, and her God mode is for 3 seconds as well. That does give her a chance to give her a little bit of HP, or a good amount of HP, so she can continue fighting. But yeah, pretty much that's it when it comes to Transcended Brightspark. I cannot show her ultimate skill or her max skill. Her passive skills are kind of there whenever it's gonna kick in. But yeah, pretty much that's it for Transcended Draco Brightspark. So, what do you guys think about her? Do you think she's very good still when it comes to PvP, or just having her here and there? Or maybe, is it alright to have her even though you might go for like Transcended Bliss Foxy? And yeah, pretty much let me know in the comments below what you think, and give me your input and commentary, or if you have questions for her, hopefully you can place it down there and someone can answer that yourself. But yeah, that's pretty much Transcended Draco Brightspark right there. And yeah, she's been saving our asses throughout Chapter 1, 2, and 3. When it comes to Chapter 4, she doesn't show up as much, but she does get some screen time here and there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys around. Peace.